America, land of the free, home of the brave, and apparently birthplace of a very specific brand of fear. It's not fear of spiders, heights, or even crippling debt from student loans, it's the fear of losing something far more precious: white heritage. Now, heritage is a funny word. It conjures images of grandma's apple pie, baseball games on sunny afternoons, and, well, mostly things white people seem to like. But lately, it's become a dog whistle, a rallying cry for those who believe their way of life is under attack by, well, anyone who isn't them. You see, the mayonnaise aisle is looking a little too diverse these days. Salsa outselling ketchup, a travesty, and don't even get started on those happy holidays cards. It's enough to make a white American clutch their pearls, which, let's be honest, were probably acquired under questionable circumstances in the first place. So, what's a nation founded on stolen land and built by enslaved people to do? Enter Project 2025. Imagine a world where diversity is a dirty word, climate change is fake news, printed on hemp paper ironically, and your guns have more rights than your neighbor's uterus. Congratulations, you've just been fast-tracked to the utopian vision of Project 2025. Concocted by the Heritage Foundation, a think tank that makes Machiavelli look like Mr. Rogers, Project 2025 is less a policy plan and more a wish list for turning back the clock to a time when white men ruled the earth and women, minorities, and the LGBTQ+ community knew their place, preferably out of sight. Think of it as Make America Great Again, but with a detailed itinerary, a bottomless budget, and a complete disregard for pesky things like facts, science, and basic human decency. It's a future so bright you'll need to buy those special sunglasses from the 1950s to witness it. Every good heist needs a crew, and Project 2025 is no different. Meet the masterminds behind this nostalgia-fueled fever dream. First up, we have the ringleader, the man who makes Nixon look like a hippie, the one and only, well, you know his name, let's just say he's back, and he's brought his Twitter account. Then there's the brains of the operation, we use the term loosely. A shadowy cabal of think tankers, lobbyists, and politicians who believe trickle-down economics works just as well as the theory of evolution. Spoiler alert, they're both equally fictional. And let's not forget the enforcers, those stalwart souls dedicated to upholding the law as long as it aligns with their narrow worldview. We're talking about the folks who think diversity training involves learning how to say Merry Christmas in 5 different languages. Together, they're a force to be reckoned with, a well-oiled machine fueled by grievance, entitlement, and an alarming amount of hairspray. Remember history class, those thrilling tales of dead white guys doing important things? Well, get ready for a whole lot more of that because Project 2025 is here to make sure your kids learn only the most patriotic, sanitized version of the past. Forget about critical race theory, which apparently stands for completely ridiculous teaching rubbish. We're talking about real American history, where slavery was a necessary evil, Native Americans mysteriously vanished, and women were too busy baking apple pies to want to vote. And let's not forget the arts. Who needs to fund music, theater, or dance when we can teach kids the fine art of assembling an AR-15 while blindfolded? After all, nothing says cultural heritage like the Second Amendment. In the hallowed halls of Project 2025's America, ignorance is bliss, and history is written by the victors, or at least those who claim to be. Section 5. They took our jobs and gave them to statues of Reagan. Remember those good-paying manufacturing jobs that used to be the backbone of the American economy? Well, they're not coming back, but that's okay because Project 2025 has a solution. Blame immigrants, minorities, and anyone else who isn't a white male with a fondness for coal mining and jingoistic slogans. Forget about investing in education, infrastructure, or renewable energy. The real answer is to build walls, deport dreamers, and turn the clock back to a time when unions were for communists, and healthcare was something you prayed for. Sure, it might not make economic sense, but it'll sure make some people feel better about their dwindling prospects. And isn't that what really matters? After all, in Project 2025's America, nostalgia is a powerful drug, and delusion is a full-time job. Section 6. The land of opportunity. Terms and conditions apply. America, the land of opportunity, where anyone can achieve the American dream as long as they're white, straight, Christian, and preferably born into a family with a trust fund. Project 2025 isn't about equality, it's about control. It's about ensuring that the right kind of people have access to healthcare, education, and housing, while everyone else is left to fend for themselves in the glorious free market. Need an abortion? Too bad. Want to marry someone of the same gender? Think again. Believe that climate change is a real and present danger? Well, you're clearly a socialist. In Project 2025's America, freedom is a privilege, not a right, and it's reserved exclusively for those who fit the mold. Section 7. Freedom of speech, but only in approved fonts and colors. Remember that whole First Amendment thing? Yeah, about that. Project 2025 has a few notes. Apparently, freedom of speech doesn't apply to those who criticize the government, question authority, or dare to suggest that America isn't already perfect. Want to protest peacefully? Be prepared for tear gas and rubber bullets? Want to exercise your right to vote? Better bring 3 forms of ID, a signed affidavit from your pastor, and a DNA sample proving your Aryan ancestry. In Project 2025's America, dissent is unpatriotic, and conformity is the highest form of flattery. Section 8. Is this making America great again, or just making America great again? So here we are, staring down the barrel of Project 2025, a future where white heritage reigns supreme, diversity is a distant memory, and irony has officially declared bankruptcy. Is this the America we want? A nation divided by fear, ruled by nostalgia, and fueled by a toxic brew of grievance and entitlement? Or is it time to finally confront the ghosts of our past, and build a future where all Americans, regardless of race, religion, or mayonnaise preference, have an equal shot at the American dream? The choice, as they say, is ours. But choose wisely, because the clock is ticking. Section 9. Hold on to your heritage, tightly, like grandma's pearls, before they're confiscated. In the end, Project 2025 isn't really about preserving heritage. It's about clinging to power, about maintaining a hierarchy where some are more equal than others. It's about turning back the clock to a time that never truly existed, a sepia-toned fantasy land where white picket fences hid a multitude of sins. But here's the thing about heritage. It's not static. It's not something you inherit like a dusty old painting you hang on the wall and forget about. It's a living, breathing thing that evolves with each passing generation. So by all means, hold on to your heritage. Cherish the traditions, the stories, the values that make you who you are. But don't let them become a shield to hide behind, a weapon to wield against those who are different. Because the true test of a nation's heritage isn't how fiercely it clings to the past, but how boldly it embraces the future. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to be the first notified for new content.